Hey guys, how's it going? It's Brian. So I've got even more good news. Not in a sarcastic way either, genuinely good news. I resolved my start-stop issue, or my electronic start-stop issue on my 2019 Jeep Wrangler JL. Added another safety feature, or safeguard I should say. As you can see, and so now my Jeep will, by default, shut off the electronic stop-start system. So upon startup, it will not automatically default to the on position. In addition, as you can see, the error message disappeared. That was just a byproduct of doing the little modification I did to bypass the computer's default setting to turn the electronic start-stop on to the off position by installing an aftermarket bypass kit. It was a little Amazon special that I bought for like $30, and it got good reviews for the Jeep Wrangler JL. A lot of people with the Ford Bronco, which I guess this part was also applicable to, had some issues with it. So I was kind of like, that seems like a reasonable catch, but it's not, I'm not at a disadvantage by it. So unfortunately, I already installed it. It basically went down here under this panel, and because of that, I can't actually show you the physical part, but I do have the instructions here. So if you look right up here, this is the part. It's basically just like an extension cable with a little computer toggle on the one end, and there's actually like a little, it almost looks like an OBD2 plug that plugs in here, and that's the computer that will basically send a message to the car's ECU saying, hey, remember the last setting that the automatic start-stop or the electronic start-stop was on after the last drive cycle. That's all it does, so it's very simple. There's not a lot of complications that can arise because it's literally all it's doing. But basically, there is a port and a plug under that area that I showed you below the steering wheel. It's directly above the OBD2 port, and you just disconnect it. You plug this end into, or it's actually this end. You plug this end into that socket that is now open, and you plug that unplugged cable into this socket, and then that pseudo OBD2 looking plug will send a message, and that tells the Jeep, again, whatever the electronic start-stop setting was on at the end of the last drive cycle. When you start up, that's what you should be on when you start it again. So I obviously have it in the off setting. So every time I start the Jeep, it will automatically say, okay, we're gonna keep it off because it was off the last time that I had a signal thrown to me. Or vice versa. You can also, I'm not going to press it because I don't want to risk having that error code come up again, but you could also theoretically press it and have it remember, hey, keep the electronic start-stop system on. So again, it was a very simple install. It's a little bit tight under there, but it took me about 7 minutes to install. So, I've had no issues with the auxiliary battery or the electronic start-stop. As I mentioned, the error code went away, and I'm guessing maybe it just needed to register that fuse wasn't there anymore and that the battery was unplugged, because I unplugged the main battery when I went and added this little electronic start-stop bypass part onto the Jeep. And I guess when I disconnected the main battery for safety and then connected it again, it finally registered in the Jeep, hey, we don't have that anymore. So at this point, I think we're in the clear. There is, I've had no issues. The battery is at, right now it's at 13.4 volts because it's kind of cold out and I just started it up, but that's relatively healthy at idle. So the main battery seems healthy. It doesn't seem like anything is draining it. When I've gone on drives that are longer than like 20 minutes, it usually dips down to like mid 12s, which shows that the alternator isn't trying to charge the battery. It's saying, the Jeep is saying, hey, it's at a good voltage, don't worry. So that's good. And obviously now, because the automatic start stop is basically indefinitely disabled, I don't really have anything to worry about here. So again, it's a stupid setting or feature on these JLs, but I'm just glad I could have a relatively simple fix for it. So I think we're in the clear. I've had no issues with the Jeep at all ever since. So hopefully this helps. I'll put a link in the description for this part. I don't think there's anything on here. No, this is just like the instructions, but it's on Amazon. They also have like a $99 one as well if you want some peace of mind. But again, this one hasn't had any issues, and it's not a very complex, demanding system that you're applying this part to. So I don't think you really have anything to worry about if you want to go the cheap route that I did and spend $30, $40. But anyway, that's basically it, guys. So we can no longer worry about the electronic start stop on my Wrangler. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below, and like and subscribe. Take care.